It's been a long time. Shouldn't have kept you without a dope pod to step to. What up, AG?
What up, Coop? What's
This is
good,
Hip Hop
chat?
Talk. This is Hip Hop Talks, everybody. Make sure you click like, subscribe to the page. Shout out to Sean. Prayers up to Sean right now. He's with his family right now. You all actually have the misfortune of watching me have to just undress AG all night. Unfortunately, I mean AG, I feel sorry
If
for
we
you.
starting off with a pause that early, damn, that sounds crazy. I'm
Usually,
about to leave the stream.
it's usually easier for you because you know you got your homie Sean with you. Now it's just you and
Yeah.
now it's just by yourself, just
It's
outside.
definitely not easy for me. I feel violated in the first 2 minutes.
Street light, street lights is on you out here with me.
No, but for
No,
real, y'all keep Sean prayed up, covered in prayer, man, for real. So we
yeah,
appreciate y'all in the chat.
no. I do believe in the power of prayer. And I do believe when people touch and agree that miracles can occur. So if we will all, say a prayer for the homie and touch and agree, that would really be important to all of us here at the Hip Hop Talks family. And now we're going to proceed with the show with actually one of my favorite hip hop artists to talk about, coincidentally enough, AG, which is Will Smith. Where would you like to start? Would you like to start with his album or would you like to start with the Drink Champs?
Let's start with the album.
Okay. Well, if we're going to start with the album, I'm going to let you start.
Hey, man, I actually liked it. I didn't go into it with any expectations. You know what I mean? Because I'm not looking for crazy wordplay or bars or anything like that. It's just really one of those albums that you can put on and anybody can enjoy. Like if you ever listened to a Will Smith album before, you can play them in, different settings. It was just a nice, cool, dope project. There's probably like 4 or 5 joints on there I really like. My favorite joint is the creativity of the barbershop song, where he took the video where he did the different characters like Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. That was really creative. And I really liked it that he got all the chatter and gossip out of the way on the first track like he intended to do. And I think it was a cool project. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a Will Smith album. You know what I mean? So my standards wasn't super high on the bars or whatever, but it was a nice, enjoyable listen. And what I admire is just it's funny how life works. You know what I mean? Because this album seems very much like a side mission. Like Will Smith is doing these side quests, but this is actually how we all came to know and love him, like people of our age demographic. You know what I mean? He started out as a rapper and then he's become more famous for his acting. But now, in 2025, it feels like the rap is like, a side mission. But, it was a cool listen. I mean, it's not going to make our top albums of the year list or nothing like that, but it was a cool listen.
I'm going to push back a little bit. I think I rate him higher than you do. And because I rate him higher, I think I'm probably a little bit tougher on this project than you are. Because for you, you're like, it's Will Smith. Yeah. You're like, Will. You're like, it's Will. So what?
Right.
That's not how I feel, AG.
Okay.
I realized today, when I woke up, before I even listened to this project at all, at this point, I think he's the most underrated rapper of all time.
I can't agree with you on that, man.
No. How about this? Well, you can't give me like the AZ or the Black Thought thing anymore. Like that's been like dead and gone for like a long time. I think we live in an era because of how the indies work, where we have guys who have been independent, like a Tech Nine, who get they due. We have an underground MC like Pharoah Monch and Talib. They kind of get their due now. It's like in terms of who hasn't gotten their due as being a credible MC, which is what I think defines underrated. No, I think he would be that guy because how many guys, think about this, how many guys have sold millions of rap records, won Grammys for rap records, have made one of the 50 best rap records of all time, have sold out stadiums worldwide, and they're not even considered a top 100 rapper, let alone a top 50 rapper. Now tell me that's not the definition of underrated, though.
Maybe Hammer will be in that same category you just named. But
See, but I mean, and this is no disrespect to Hammer, and I'm being very serious when I say this. Hammer's not the rapper that Will Smith is. He's not as good as
nah,
the Fresh
nah, I
Prince
agree with that.
at actual rapping, at this actual bar works shit, at this bar seminar. He's not as good as Will is, and that's what I'm saying. No, Will is actual dope MC.
Mhm.
And so that's what I mean when I'm saying he's underrated. Think about it. He's a multi-platinum rapper. He's a Grammy award-winning rapper. Sells out stadiums, and he's in nobody's top 100.
Right.
He even
So
talked about how the drums to "Summertime" are bigger than any movie he's ever done in the Drink Champs interview. Like,
mhm,
think about that.
yeah,
Like he like whether you like it, love it, hate it, he made that record. He did make Parents Just Don't Understand.
absolutely. So you think he
He earned,
underperformed on this album?
I do. I
In
do.
in what way?
Do. Well, here's what I would have to tell you, AG. Actually, he's not even he's not even our demographic. Like, he's our OG's demographic. He's like our older brothers
Yeah.
and cousins demographic, like musically speaking, in terms of like
Mhm.
the rap. Like, we didn't, like, a lot of people don't understand this. Like, if you're our age, AG, we just caught the beginning of the acting career, like, barely. Like, we're old enough to remember the beginning of the Fresh Prince, just like barely. That's like us at 9, 10 years old, AG. You know.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we really didn't catch Will Smith, the rapper, like that. Like that, I caught him on some secondhand smoke via my cousins who were 4 and 8 years older.
Right.
But as far as like rapping goes, he's always been pretty high level, and I did think that this was a step down. And part of why it's a step down is like, and hate to be the one to break this, people, well, he's always been a hit maker, AG.
Yeah, I don't particularly hear any hits on this record, on this album.
Well, I think well, it definitely has a more faith driven, and how I've been raked through the coals and now I've risen again, and
Yeah.
and
But I
and,
could have
and
did with all those, did without all those skits, those reverend skits. Like he could have left some of those out. I get it ties the theme of the album together, but I mean, to me, it kind of broke momentum in the album a little bit.
E for effort, D for execution.
Right.
So C overall, for that
Yeah.
part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what really it lacks is that I'm gonna give him credit for this. I feel like the subject matter and the rhetoric, and this is why I bring up how it's really not even for our age demographic. And this is what I mean, our age demographic. I'm not joking when I say this. We are still in our 40s. Most of the people that listen to him musically are actually closer to 50 or older than 50 now in
Right.
terms of what his core musical fan base is.
Right.
Okay? And so they might be in a different place in life, and so this might be more their cup of tea. But he also has been a hit maker for his demographic and for his generation, for his duration, as a rap artist for the most part, and this does lack that. And you are right about the skits. I feel like the skits, even though they try to bring it together, because they are not poignant and as well connected as they should be, do break it apart a little bit. I do feel like the bar work is just like solid. There's nothing really special going on, and I've always thought, and here's what I mean when there's nothing special going on. Even on a record like Switch, AG, you can hear the clarity of his voice, the way he can pound through a bass line in a track. You can hear his ability to catch a beat and the flip and the switch style wise. You get what I'm saying? Like you can hear
Right.
things that I feel make a good to great MC. I don't think this album necessarily provides any of that, and I think this is probably the first project I think that he's made that doesn't provide any of the qualities that even make him worthy of being the most underrated MC of all time. So I would tell you that it is a step down for him.
Yeah. What was your favorite joint on the project?
I'm with you on the barbershop joint, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought that was real creative. I like the joint he actually has with his son, Jaden, singing the hook. That was pretty solid.
You want to know? When I went back to the Joyner Lucas joint, I enjoyed it much more than I did the first time that I heard it. The second time I heard it, I
Yes.
thought I enjoyed it much more. So that's probably one that stuck out the most to me. The second time I went around, where I was like, okay, you want to know what? I was like, I'm getting with that record. I was like, I can get with that. Enjoying the
And
sounds dope.
the Big Sean was cool too.
The Big Sean record's just cool, but it's just cool to me. It's not something I'm gonna go back to. Like the Joyner Lucas record is the record probably back on here that I'll probably go back to or kind of try to like throw in my algorithm and see what happens. You know, like what I do, AG, is like when there's a project that I'm necessarily not a fan of, or I know that I'm not gonna play a lot. You know, I'll take like my favorite song from there and I'll put it like in my playlist to kind of like kick it in the algorithm to see if it kind of like doesn't throw me other joints or the artists like it to find like records like it. So, you know, so the Joyner Lucas record the second time around stuck out. So that'd probably be the one that I would say, that in the barbershop intro.
No doubt. But you set the bar higher for him because I don't consider him the most underrated MC of all time.
How about this? We probably have this project rated as a 3, but probably for totally different reasons.
For different reasons.
You have it as a 3, though, don't you?
Yeah. I wasn't going in expecting
like you're happy with the 3. I'm looking at the 3 like
Yeah. I mean, it's Will, you know what I'm saying? It's enjoyable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at what Will doing.
Hold on real quick before we go to the Drink Champs. What does It's Will mean to you, AG? Like, tell me what that means exactly. Explain that to me. It's Will.
I mean, like I said, the rap album seems like a side mission. Like, barring the situation with Chris Rock and all that stuff, Will's just winning in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's out here, living his best life, doing his thing or whatever. And he's just making a record. It is heavily themed in, I was down, but now I'm back up again. But anytime you put on a Will Smith record, it just sounds like a fun record. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Will's just being Will, man. He can't help himself. He's just entertaining,
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get to the Drink Champs interview. What did you think of the Drink Champs interview? I haven't watched Drink Champs interview in a while. So like Noriega lost like 50 pounds. Like
and got dreads. Like, well, the little,
I call those the baby Escos when I seen him. I said, did he just get the baby Escos? Like
the little plaits. But yeah, I thought the interview was really good. I mean, like I said about the album, Will's just seems like a good time. Funny, witty, and him and Nori was made for good chemistry on screen. So I think it was good, and there was a lot of enlightening stuff in the interview that I didn't know. You would think we knew everything about Will at this point, but there was some things that I didn't know, like how Martin pitched Bad Boys to him, and that was the first time they met at Martin's house. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I thought to myself, well, actually, if I'm not mistaken, Bad Boys came out in 1995, right?
I believe so. Yeah. It was not, yeah.
Oh, so that means it probably got pitched to Martin in like 93, 94?
Right, and it was supposed to be Eddie with him.
Well, listen, in 1993, 94, Martin's a bigger deal than Will Smith.
Yeah, because Fresh Prince, see, that's they were running neck and neck to me because the Fresh Prince and then Martin are my 2 favorite shows of all time. So, but I think
you understand, Martin still had to stand up, and Martin also was part of the house party thing.
There you go. And
culturally more connected to Martin at the time because of the house
Def
party
Comedy Jam. Def Comedy Jam too. Yeah, you're right.
So Martin's actually the showstopper 93, 94 more than Will.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So actually, when the way he told the story, I was like, I'm like, that actually makes sense when he's saying it like that.
Yeah, it does.
But it's also one of those things about how life works, where it's like he's like, yeah, like Martin's sister was like, no, you should choose Will Smith. It's like, what the hell made her say that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. But it worked out, and they lifelong friends after that. So that's crazy.
Yeah, so I thought some of the more poignant things, I thought it was really dope that Will Smith has a street named after him in front of his high school. I always think that, I always like to celebrate like excellence, Black excellence in particular. I do remember hearing that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is based on Benny Medina's life of moving from Watts to Beverly Hills. I thought it was hilarious how he told the story about how Quincy Jones said Bel-Air made Hollywood look like a housing development.
It sounds right. I ain't trying to do a flex or nothing, but my great uncle used to hang with Quincy a lot. He was the jazz musician and used to live in France and travel and come over here a lot. And he used to tell me stories me and my cousin stories about hanging with Quincy, like Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, all these other people, and how Will described Quincy is how my great uncle always used to describe Quincy. Like when he would talk about him, like it's kind of funny.
Well, consistently bossy, consistently flossy.
Yeah,
I think sometimes, what I really liked about this interview, I think people forget sometimes because, and he even speaks to it. It's like, it's Big Willie. You know what I'm saying? He like, everybody know what it is, including him. That he lets you know in this interview that he know what time it is with him too. And like what time people be on about him. And I like that he was honest about that. But there was something about him that was still very Philly to me after all this time. And I like that. It's like, he's still very Philly. But he's and Nori kind of pointed it out too, but he's old school Philly though.
Right. Yeah, that's something that's always going to be in you though. It's ingrained in you.
Correct. So it's like I like how he brought up the whole cliff top point about how like you can reach the point of achieving so many things that the fall from that is very much to the fall when somebody hits rock bottom for that person that achieved. Yeah, I like that point.
That was very important.
You know what? It was one of the dopest things that I think I ever heard Nori say was like, "Hey, before Will Smith started doing the Fresh Prince, all rappers ever did was just rap." And when he said that, I was like, "Oh shit, he right." I was like, "Damn." That was powerful. I was like, that really is a genre and game changing move. Think about that. Before Will Smith, all rappers really did was rap.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like he was the first. He was first into the acting fray.
Yeah, he's the first to the party. Like when like how about this? Every rapper that talks about like how they don't rely on rap money, it's like that's the guy that actually started that.
Yeah, he just edged out Ice Cube and Pac, right? Because they were doing film and he was doing sitcom.
Ice Cube, Pac, Latifah, maybe Kid and Play, like all by like hit Chinny Chin Chin.
Yeah, because they're more like around 91-ish, and Will was on by about 90. Was it 90?
Correct. Like literally, like he literally beat everybody maybe like somewhere between the 3 to 9 month gap. But you know, you can be, 100-meter dash, first place, you can be.
As a fact. It's crazy. I'm glad you brought up Nori when he said that. Nori do be wild and he gets so excited he cut people off, but people don't give him enough credit for his interview skills. He said something else dope during the interview that really gave Will his flowers, because he was talking about how no matter what Will does, he still finds a way to put hip hop in it, because Will himself is hip hop. Like how Will had the beatbox and alien talk in Men in Black. You know what I'm saying? And thought to bring in Biz Marquee to do that conversation scene with him. So him just sprinkling hip hop in a little bit of everything he did to stay true to himself. I appreciated Nori pointing that out.
Will Smith is way more hip hop oriented than people realize. I like the fact that he admits the fact that at his core, he falls into the acting fray easier. And because he falls into the acting fray easier is why he is a greater actor than he is an MC. But because hip hop is his passion, AG.
That's what he said.
It's different when it's your passion. Like your passion can push you to levels that are actually beyond the means of whatever your talent says that it is. And although he might be a more talented actor, as in the type of person that can literally walk into a sitcom with no training, and by the time the sitcom is over 6 years later, be one of the most trained and accomplished actors at his craft. Like he's that kind of talented at that craft. Like even that type of pull off is hard to do. So he is that kind of talented. But he also is that type of passionate about something else, and there's something great about that too. Like he's kind of like, he's higher. Like he's not Rudy, like as in like Rudy from Notre Dame. He's not that, because he's better, like a better rapper than Rudy is a player. But he has kind of like a Rudy mentality about rap, if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he approaches it like that because, and he even brought it up on the show. Oh no, like when he did what he did, that was selling out, being corny. You whack, you ain't shit. Your career is over. You done.
Yeah,
You finished. You
he
ain't
did.
nothing. Yeah.
Yep.
So he dealt with a lot too. He didn't have Pac street cred. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He didn't have Latifah's. How about this? Coming from Philly back then and coming from Jersey back then is coming from two different worlds in terms of being aligned to New York and the East Coast hip hop scene too.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have a lot of even what his contemporaries has. I mean, we all knew Cube from NWA. On top of that, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
But and he would all rappers talk about now is boycotting the Grammy still in 2025, and he was the first to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I even like the honesty about the fact that like he admitted that part of why he boycotted because he wasn't expecting to win it all when he looked at his competition. Like I'm gonna be
Yep.
honest, if I'm up against OPP and Supersonic and like all that stuff, I'm probably not thinking Parents Just Don't Understand is gonna win either.
Yep. And it was just interesting hearing that how they all felt because it was Kool Moe Dee that ended up deciding to go and perform, and you know what I'm saying, I think he performed, but how everybody else felt about him, not choosing to take part in the boycott. So it was, like I said, that was something I wasn't aware of.
And you want to know what he was probably he was probably OG at the time. He was probably looking at it like this might be my last chance to.
You're right. Yeah, because he had been in the game for a little bit.
Yeah. Like how about this? People have to understand this. Like Kool Moe Dee's prime is like, his real prime is like 83, 84, 85.
Yeah, and rappers had running back years then,
Yeah, so the fact that he's even around still when this is going on was a testament to how big he actually was, truthfully.
That's a good point. What do you think about him when he gave Esco all his flowers? You know what I'm saying?
I think it took Kool Moe Dee a long time to get to a place of not being bitter about a lot of things. I think he feels like he got passed over by the masses who when Rakim and KRS and Kane and Slick Rick and those guys popped up. I feel like he felt like he didn't get appreciated enough for his contributions, and so him saying some of the things that he has said has been like a nice change of pace.
Yeah, but my fault. What I said was, what do you think about him giving Nas his flowers? Like what I'm saying, on the show, Will, on the Drink Champs, because he cleared up some of the ghostwriting speculation on Getting Jiggy With It, Miami, and he said that they wrote Cruising together, and then he talked about how Nas makes him want to study the art of rap more.
When he said that, all he is speaking to is what all us, the rest of us, feel as fucking rappers.
Good point.
He's saying some, like when he said it, I was like, how about this, AG? When he said it, I was kind of like, yeah, nigga, me too. So what? Like that's what he does. like he does that to everybody. Like welcome to the world.
Yeah.
Like welcome to the world. Like you know what I'm saying?
My man's man, a rapper's rapper. God, SON, there'll be none after.
Like,
that's what he said.
He want to study the art of rap more. It's like, yeah, that's kind of his thing.
There we go. Yeah. But overall, it was a dope interview.
I feel like there could have been more to the interview. There was obviously restrictions to what they were going to talk about and what was going to be edited and what was going to be kept. I did feel like overall it was a solid interview. Nori did bring some things out. It's just one of those things when it's like you don't know if you're going to get a Will Smith coming back around again. So I feel like you should take all your shots. But also, too, we don't know what the parameters of the shots were that could be taken. So that's what I will say. I will also say, here are my last thoughts. Look at Will Smith's face when he talks about Friday night in Colombia. And everybody know why I keep talking about going to see my homie in Medellin. All right, look at Will Smith. That's Will Smith. Will Smith has been around this world probably, like, I'm not exaggerating, 50 times, AG. He's probably been around 50 times at least. And when he talked about being in Colombia on Friday night, he literally said there's a lot of places in the world. The Colombia on Friday night. Like, yeah, I was like, when he said it, I was like, I know I've been there. It's like, I already know. I already know what you're talking about. He's talking about everything because Will Smith. Think about what. Oh my God, it frightens me to think about what the Will Smith experience is like on Friday night in Columbia.
Yeah, that level of clearance. It's
But
crazy.
that clearance, they're probably trying to convince you to buy a piece of the country.
Right.
Right. If you will wire this amount of money in, we will give you this part of the land.
Probably, man. Probably.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was a dope interview overall. So I know
Okay.
we got another interview we actually need to get to right now. Is King Shampz already like in the back room chilling in the VIP, ready to
Yeah,
go?
we keeping it Philly,
You
West
know.
Philly. Oh, shout out to Doug. Super chat.
Ew.
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, fellas? What's happening, man? I was just sitting here cracking up about the whole Will Smith breakdown of the interview. I just was watching that John other night with my brother too, so I was just like laughing at what y'all take was on that John, man.
Well, I mean, how about this? How about this, Shams? You're from Philly. What's your take on the interview? Like, are you a fan of Will Smith? What do you feel like Will Smith's contributions to the rap community is like to Philly?
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate y'all brothers having me on. Number one, I appreciate y'all.
For sure.
And yeah, I definitely fuck with Will. You know what I mean? Will from West Philly, like I am. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to give him his flowers and give him his respect for what he's done for the city and what he did for the genre. I mean, he is one of the first. He is the first rapper to win a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? He was able to translate and make a lot of moves off of music, and still he comes back and he shows hip hop love. So I definitely respect them for that because we have so many people that's in our culture that are culture vultures, man, that never really even come back, you know what I mean, and even have discussions about, the different things that they were able to do within the culture. So it's dope to see him still up there and at it, you know what I mean? And of course, like y'all said, you know what I mean, it was restrictions. We know that. You know what I mean? Will Smith come up there, it's a whole hell of a lot of restrictions up there, John. You know what I'm saying? You're glad to have the interview. And that's what Nori was doing. He was tap dancing around him like Sammy Davis Jr. up there, John. But I
Right, right.
respect it. You know what I mean? I respect it though.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And we'd like to say welcome to you, King Shampz. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like friend of the show, friend of the show. We're glad to have you here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You told us you're from West Philly, like Will Smith. You've been in the game, you know what I'm saying, the underground space for a little while now. So tell
yeah.
us a little bit about coming into the game as an artist and your origins.
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, me and my brother started this thing when we were young bulls, man. You know what I mean? Real young guys. And we feel that we have to keep the culture going, not only for, just hip hop in general, but just Philadelphia in general. We have such a rich history, not only with, hip hop music, but music in general. So we feel like we have a duty to kind of go on ahead and push, shit forward. You know what I'm saying? And the music that we write and the music that we put together, we feel like is a prime example of that. You know what I mean? We want to make elite music, not just elite hip hop, but we want to make elite music. And the last few projects we dropped, probably in the last, I'd say, like year or two, have really started to move us within the underground and go to, eventually where we want to go, which is to start putting like this kind of sound on the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God that a lot of these different opportunities are popping up so we could, be allowed to do that and really show a whole nother genre of rap. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've been doing it for a minute, but now we're finally, like I said, starting to hit our stride with our projects. I dropped Rise of Corleone last year, The Beginnings, Murder Files, dropped a couple of videos as well. And they've been doing really well, for the organic users. You know what I mean? Ain't no bots and shit involved. There's actual people commenting and liking and sharing and subscribing. So it's been a dope experience, man.
Dope. Now, is this all Dead Wrong Records? Is that
Yeah.
still? Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Rise of Corleone was, when you hit me in the DM, like that was my first introduction to you. That was a solid project.
I
Another
appreciate
one
that.
from Yeah, it was dope. And then another one of your earlier works was I want you to explain that to me if that's like a compilation. It's called The Beginnings Heat
Yeah.
from SoundCloud. So did you compile like all of your old work and then put it together in like an album form to give to people who might not have been tapped in on SoundCloud? Is that what came about?
You right on it. You on it like a hornet, baby. It's a
Okay.
billion percent. Yeah, it's a billion percent. That's what it was. You know what I mean? We wanted to get people familiar because, again, like I said, once we saw that a lot of people started tapping in with the work, we was like, well, shit, we got a bunch of records that a lot of people didn't hear. You know what I mean? We got how many billion people in this world? And I feel like a lot of artists need to start doing that, especially if you're coming from the underground or whatnot. Not everybody has heard that music from you. You know what I mean? It's a new experience for somebody else. So I feel like it's a good way to market your music and kind of push it back out, you know what I mean, into this algorithm analytics shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was really, really dope work. And we was like, yo, put that out there, man. Let the people kind of tap in and really see the origins of everything, basically the beginnings of everything, how my voice was different, you know what I mean,
I
how
was
the
gonna say
sound was
that.
different. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
you know what I
No,
mean. I aged like fine wine on that joint.
first of
That's
all,
what's up.
we know you from Philly because you keep saying John. Oh yeah,
Facts.
Yeah.
these are big facts. You are from Philly
That's
for real.
that Philly slang.
You were saying John with the ease that only a Philly cat could. Um, you know, I, when I was listening to your early stuff, I was actually chilling with my cousin who like he kind of like has the file and the catalog of like my whole team's stuff, and he was
Mm.
talking about our artist and how she had pulled up to get her catalog, and I was like, "What'd she pull up for?" He's like, "To put it on streaming platforms." He's like, "Shit's different now." He's
Mhm.
like,
Hmm.
so when you just said that, I realized he's like, yeah, he's like, nobody's heard this stuff. He handed me my shit too. And then it gave me some ideas about what to do with my stuff. Did like did the music, like, and the way that music is made changing, like kind of reinvigorating you as a more seasoned artist that's kind of been through maybe the process of being an artist at a different time where what moves the needle and what moves the people and what gathers attention is different?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like you have to be able to adjust if you want to win and to succeed. You know what I mean? I don't care your age, your gender, your race, whatever. If you want to succeed, if you want this thing to rock out, whatever it is, then you're going to have to be able to adjust. And streaming is out. You know what I mean? It's no longer, big ass CDs and cassettes and shit. So you can't really move with them like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to understand playlisting and, doing what I'm doing now, touching the people more with interviews and engaging organically so you can get people to actually fuck with what you're doing. So I feel like it's different ways you can go on ahead and get things rolling. And that's one of the ways. If these people haven't heard the music, rebrand it. Rebrand it. I mean, we see so many of the top artists doing it because it's so much music that's coming out consistently that music kind of can get, it can fall by the wayside, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I remember seeing somebody like a Bruno Mars, who is a mainstream artist. One of the records that he did, I think it was the Finesse record. He had like Cardi B or something on here. That record was like 3 years old off of his album, but
Mm-hmm.
he rebranded it, put a little spit shine on that John, and moved
Mm-hmm.
on. You know what I'm saying? And was able to get the recognition that that record deserves. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, well, shit. What stops me from doing that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And what stops any other artist from doing it, especially if you had a quality of work that the people need to hear. So yeah, you definitely got to, jump out here and actually look at the different ways. You can't go by radio. You got to go by playlists. You got to go by podcasting. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to be tapped into everything so you can succeed. So yeah, everything that you can get your shit played on, we on. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? And we're finding different ways to take advantage of the system that they're trying to basically suppress us with. So, we moving within the system.
Right, right. And I like that marketing. And hopefully we could be a vehicle, you know what I'm saying, to get your name to more people. That's dope. I'm glad you brought up your voice because I was gonna bring that up in the question. When I was listening to that project, I did notice that your voice was different, but now hearing you talk, like your rapping voice is very unique, right? but your rapping voice and style now is more closer to your speaking voice than your older work. So I'm tripping trying to figure out. So on your older work, I'm figuring out now that you changed it in the beginning, and then now it seems like you're leaning more into your natural, unique voice with your style. Is that true?
1,000,000,000%. Y'all's bad brothers, man. Y'all actually got questions with deep, with, you know what I mean? Like questions. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, we got some rapping ass rap questions.
Yeah.
Facts.
Me and AG dig on stuff.
Yeah,
I respect that. I respect it. That's why I respect the show. That's why I was like, yo, let me get on the show. I'm like, what's up? What's up? To answer the question, I feel like I'm 32 now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's like what you're hearing. So I'm literally trying to figure out what I want to be as an artist. I think you're hearing a lot more of my influences then. You know what I'm saying? Of like, I'm a big Nas guy. I'm a big J guy. I'm a big Wu guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the guys for me. Mobb Deep, Prodigy. You know what I mean? Prodigy from 95 probably stomps on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was different then. Listening to Scarface and UGK. And I'm heavily influenced by those guys as well. So you're hearing a lot of that. Now you're hearing somebody that, like you said, is more seasoned, has the understanding of my strengths, has the understanding of my weaknesses, and I'm making those weaknesses my strengths. If you're actually listening to, you know, my journey, my musical journey, and I feel now, like I said, I'm more comfortable. You know, it's almost like when you saw Jordan, you know what I mean, refined. I feel like I'm like 92 Jordan in a way, where I still got the athleticism, but I still like got crazy IQ. Like, I'm not 87, 88 Jordan that's just jumping all over the place. No, I understand how to slow the game down there. You know what I'm saying? The game slowed to me for a minute. It's like a top quarterback. You know, I'm not making them same throws anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can make every throw now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's definitely a lot of maturity that came from that, man. And like I said, just being comfortable as an artist, just finding that pocket.
So I think when you bring up 92 Jordan, that's like, for me, like that guy, that's the guy that could get 50 with his athleticism still, but could also get 50 with his IQ. Like, whatever way you needed to get 50, it's like, oh no, he could just go to the hole all night and get 50, but he could like break you down and get 52 at that point.
Yeah, I'm cutting off the mid range. You know what I mean? I'm getting some threes there. I'm getting to the lane. You know what I mean? I'm using leverage. I'm seeing where your body is. It's a nuance, man. And I want to kind of bring those kinds of things back to hip hop, because it's a nuanced sport. And these motherfuckers ain't playing it right. We got to show people how to play with nuance again. What's the details about? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I do have a couple of like they're two real quick questions, and I'm gonna let AG jump back in. Does your record No Lesson Flexin' sample the Take It Easy from Supercat?
And that, see, you would have to ask my brother that. And you already know producer's secret, so you're not gonna get that answer from him.
So he's not gonna,
number one.
Yeah,
just being honest.
First of all,
I'm about to say.
No. My cousin, who is like my brother, is like my producer too. And if I was to ask him something like that, he wouldn't tell me, and it could be my beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
No sample snitching.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. One thing I will tell you, and you know what, y'all got to get them on the show and try to get some answers out of them. Y'all need to get them up there and just see. But one thing I will say about my brother is he's always blending different sounds. He's not the kind of producer that samples from the perspective where it's just like, I got one sound. It's a collage of sounds. So indeed, it could be a record like that. It could be 100 other different records, though, being like totally honest. Because he'll play me some shit. I'll be like, this is real Pete Rockish, how you found this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of expanding a 2-second joint and making it a whole record. You know what I'm saying? So he gets busy. He definitely gets busy. But I like I said, I couldn't even answer that, John, for overall. I ain't even gonna hold you. I know the record. I know the record go. I know that people need to go check it out on them streaming platforms. I know that much.
No Less Flexing record is hard.
That's one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites from.
I appreciate that.
What other question did you have, Coop?
The other one is what's the inspiration behind like that? Because I don't know. Okay, so you're 32 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm to my first of all, I want you to talk about are there any rap differences you feel like between West Philly, South Philly, and North Philly? Because I know North Philly often gets attached with a more New York style because the proximity says they're closer to New York. Correct.
Mm, mm,
And so I want to know where somebody that's, and then when you said that you were 32, the record like that started making more sense to me because I feel like there's like a break in the Philly like hip hop sound where it's always had more of an East Coast aesthetic,
mm.
specifically like the Bronx and Brooklyn, aesthetic. And then now
Or
has, it has more of an aesthetic that maybe has more of a southern influence or cadence at times. Like can
mm.
you talk about that and speak to that perspective
Oh
maybe?
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Again, it's like again, most of my influences come from down south. My people are from down south. If you listen to me talk long enough, you'll hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from West Philly, born and raised, but all my people from North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to 8 Ball and MJG. I'm a fan of Screwed Up Click. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to that shit just as much as I'll go listen to It Was Written. You know what I'm saying? So those styles I decided and we decided, me and my brother, to blend it together because it's like, yo, this is a part of us. It kind of goes back to us finding ourselves, right? Where it's like, yo, we're artists. We're trying to figure out what sound works for us. And it's like, yo, like we can bounce with the rest of them. I can rap just as well with the cadence of a Pimp C as I can do a Jizza. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like being able to have that balance and being able to attack records differently. And we're blending a whole new sound. That's like the new sound to us, where it's the East Coast bars, the East Coast lyricism, and may have the Southern origins of like maybe hooks and bridges and different flows and cadences and things like that. And then we're doing the same thing from the production standpoint as well, where you'll still hear like those East Coast boom bap drums, but the samples and everything are used in a way where it's a little bit more accessible. Because let's just be honest, until we start to destroy this infrastructure now, you got to move within the system. So we found a way to blend the sounds, put together our own sound, and kind of, move within the system until it's like, yo, I can drop what I want to drop now. You know what I'm saying? If I decide to drop 5, It Was Written in a row, so fucking be it. But at the same time, I can drop a Stank on you. I can drop, you know what I mean, a Mr. Scarface too. You know what I'm saying? Like I can blend those things. So yeah, like when you hear like that, that's what you're hearing. That's something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. You feel me?
I do
Got you.
feel you. I do
Got
feel
you.
you.
That
I do
that's
feel you and
dope.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. We got a few more things before we let you slide, brother. You brought up Jordan, and I'm glad you did because the cover art for one of your latest singles is "No Complaints." So
Yeah.
you got Michael Jordan on it, famous shrug moment
Thanks.
for the YouTube cover art. So let's talk about your two most recent records. Is "No Complaints" and "Sophisticated Hustlers" out there for the people if they want to check them out. You want to walk us through those two records?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. It just shows my versatility as an artist and our versatility as artists. Again, where No Complaints is more of a smooth record. You know what I mean? It comes from that kind of bad boy because we're heavily influenced by them as well, like that bass Biggie. You know what I mean? Like flows, being able to get on records and still talk that talk. You know what I mean? But still make it in a way where the ladies can fuck with it as well. And then Sophisticated Hustlers is just like a straight up East Coast hip hop back and forth between me and my brother. Where's the bar shit? Where we not only can give you those songs that you can go in there and play, because it's funny, No Complaints is doing really good on Canadian radio right now. It's killing overseas, being streamed real well. But Sophisticated Hustlers got like the motherfuckers is like, yo, nigga, all I really want to listen to is Buckshot, Nas, and Mobb Deep all fucking day. If you ain't got no fucking bars, I don't want to hear you. And I
Right.
respect that too. So it's like, yo, we're bridging the gap. You know what I'm saying? We selling pizza, we selling cheesesteaks, we got ice cream in the bag too, nigga, if you need it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need, we got it all.
Right.
You feel me? So it kind of shows that versatility in that way. from those two records. Because like I said, No Complaints is a record that's a lot smoother. Sophisticated Hustlers has more of like, we just going at it. You know what I mean? For the love of hip hop type shit. And both have had really, really good responses. So again, like you said, it's on streaming platforms. Miles Corleone's on there. The label project as well. Murder Files is on there. Go check that out. And that's kind of a continuation of the sound. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of see like where everybody else from the label is doing their thing too.
And you got another collab joint, King of Kings Volume 1, right?
Oh my Lord. Whew. That project is the beginning for real. Okay. That's the beginning.
Yeah, that joint was dope.
I appreciate that. Yeah, again, you're hearing young kids. I may have been like 19, 20, 21 on there. Like easily.
That joint was solid though. It was dope. But yeah, shout out to your brother on Sophisticated Hustlers. He was dope too. With your bro. Couple things while I got you here, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you know what I'm saying, while you on the show, some of my favorite joints, definitely No Complaints. Sophisticated Hustlers, like we talked about, Half a Brick, Murder Arts, one of my joints. Can't Get Enough, Arm and Hammer, Supply and Demand, Live from the Dope Spot. I like Interstate 95, and then Coop mentioned No Reason Flexing. Like, those are all my favorite joints from you, man. So I just made a little list. You know what I'm saying?
There were some.
That's a hell of a list. I'll fuck with
it. There were some joints. You remember Lord Have Mercy from Flip Mode?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there were some things that you were doing like cadence-wise and bar-wise and vocally like at the same time that reminded me of Lord Have Mercy. And I mean that in a good way because I always fucked with Lord Have Mercy. Like he was actually a member in Flip Mode.
Nah, I feel like with your voice, especially as a rapper, I look at it from a perspective of, because I'm a big jazz fan, right? So I look at it from the perspective of how like Miles Davis and Coltrane and Ahmad Jamal like broke shit down, where it's like I'm using these notes to my advantage. I'm using my voice to my advantage. This is my instrument. So I can go in and out of flows really quickly. I can use cadences really quickly. You know what I mean? It's just like a wide receiver going in and out of breaks. Like he has to be able to like time shit at a certain time. You know what I mean? In order for the shit to be, what it is. It's either going to be a touchdown or incompletion. And with us, we're going for touchdowns. So I appreciate that. Yeah, again, it goes back to that versatility. I pride myself on it. Student of the game, man. Just studying the greats. You want to be great, study the greats. Yeah.
No doubt. Since you're a student of the greats, the last two questions I got for you are fun questions. First question will be, name your top 5 Philly rappers as far as Philly influence. And then the last question, if we got anybody in the chat that's going to slide through Philly, visiting or they're there now, name your number 1 cheesesteak spot that they need to go go get them a cheesesteak. So that's the last 2 questions.
Okay. So let me answer the first one. I mean the second one, the last one about the cheesesteak. So that's where I'm at with it, right? You come into the city to just get a cheesesteak and chill and stay out the way. You ain't coming for the bullshit that come into the city, because I know a lot of niggas will throw Matz's out. You know what I mean? A lot of different people will throw shit. Matz's is in the middle of the hood. So if you ain't got your strap on, you don't go over there. That's just a fact. Okay. I'm not going to sit there and tell people, I'm not going to sit there and tell people like, oh yeah, just stand on over there and get robbed. Like, nah, like if you ain't rolling, you don't know where you at, you don't need to be there. Take your ass to Pat's and Geno's. You know what I mean? Go right down there. Okay. Get yourself a solid cheesesteak. And if you want to go to somewhere in the daytime, go to Delisandro's. Go there or Ishka Bibbles. It's a couple spots. For the cheesesteaks. And if you talk about top 5 Philly rappers, Bane's gonna be 1.
Overthought?
Yeah, for me. Okay. Yeah, for me. Yeah. And Black Thought is a phenomenal rapper. It's just I grew up during the era where like Beans was running the city. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I grew up during that era, so I got the respect what I saw, and I was outside. You know what I'm saying? So like everything that was going on, like Beans and them was running shit. So I gotta go with Beans. Black Thought to be 2. I gotta give Black Thought his respect. He's going to have to be there just because he's an incredible lyricist. He's put out incredible work. The funk freestyle joint should be a national monument for real. That nigga was rapping words. He was just rapping words that was just making sense, if that makes sense. Like he just is that good at writing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an incredible lyricist. So I'm gonna put him at 2. Damn, now I'd have to probably go like underground. Like underground for like top five. Um, Quilly probably would have been like 3 or 4 for me. Quilly Mills from like back in the day. Meek
Okay.
Mills from back in the day too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They'd probably be like 3 and 4. Because again, I'm from like that era, like when Reed Dollars and all them was like,
What
you know
about
what I mean,
Freeway?
fucking
What
around.
about Freeway and Young Chris?
Young Chris was that was the next person I was coming to.
Oh,
Young Chris young Chris definitely. Yeah, I
well,
mean,
okay.
ask Jay
Can I
about
ask
him.
him?
He said, "Ask me about it."
I gotta ask you this. No. Like this is off the books right here. Okay, so
Yeah.
all Philly and New York niggas swear by Young Chris so hard. So like, break it down for me, like what it is, because it's like I like him, but
Mm.
when Philly and New York niggas talk about Young Chris, y'all talk with this glow. It's like
I think
But
it's the swag, man.
yeah, I'm waiting for him to pop back. He popped out. We waiting on him. We waiting on him.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go ahead and answer the question, bro. I think he has some technical difficulties, but yeah, why do they hold young Chris so high? There you go. Yeah, why do they hold him
Okay.
so high? I feel it.
my bad. My daughter was
Oh, you
just
Nah,
good?
calling.
it's all good. Family first, man. We gotta make sure everybody, you know what I mean? The reason why, to be honest, is because and I'm a big Hove guy, but Hove is known for taking different cadences and taking different flows. It is what it is. You know what I mean? If you're a guy that studies rap, it is what it is. It's just
If
like,
Sean's listening, he's smiling from ear to ear right now.
listen, I love Kobe. Listen, I love Kobe, but Kobe took all Mike's moves. It is what
He did.
it is. I mean, we
He
don't
did.
have to like discredit somebody just because somebody did X, Y, Z. At least that's how I look at things. So young Chris with the flows, when he came over, Hove was taking them flows. It gave Hove an extra 3 or 4 years with the young Chris flow. The whisper and the dipping and the listen to Hove through that whole little like phase of like state prop days. He's
It's
rapping
there.
like Philly niggas. He
It's
is.
there. Yeah.
Because again, when you're sitting around Oskino, okay, because Oskino never gets brought up for those flows and cadences either. Young Chris, those guys from State Prop that had like that rapping thing. Like if you listen to matter of fact, here's a prime example of it. Dirt Off Your Shoulder. Like a vessel, I guess like when
Yeah.
did Hove ever say any of those things? We listened to Hove from Reasonable Doubt. He
Yeah.
never had that in his bag.
To me,
He
when it was the
never
most
did.
prevalent, when it was like eye popping, like yo, he's definitely doing was the Murder Marcyville record. And a lot of people might not even know that because that's like was the mixtape circuit. But when Jay
Yeah.
was on the Murder Marcyville record, I was like, yeah, that's Chris. That's Chris.
Yeah. Like you hear that young Chris in there all the
Yeah,
time. And again, let's keep it 100. Young Chris
yeah.
bar for bar can't fuck with Hove. Let's
Yeah,
not be
that's not
disrespectful.
right.
You're right.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
not
what I mean?
Absolutely
No,
not.
but I know a lot of people will try to push agendas. You know how I
right.
go.
Right.
Right.
But you are saying is that he did Jack his style though for a few years.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a
That
fact.
extended the shelf life of his prime because that did happen during his prime.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fact. Them flows are there. And if you listen to Dirt Off Your Shoulder too, you hear Pimp C. Go listen to Murder. Go listen to the first verse of Murder and then play it back. Listen to like them flows. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being real. He was a UGK guy. You know
He's
what
a
I mean?
chameleon. He's a
Man, this is
chameleon.
Yeah.
He's a
And,
chameleon.
and and making that adjustment and being that versatile keeps you moving. You know what I'm saying?
Beans talked about that. Beans talked about how, like Jay's real gift is his ability to absorb.
Yeah. That's still a skill set that could be used for
That is
good
a
and
skill.
bad. Yeah, it could be used good and bad, but it still is a skill set. You know what I'm saying? I could say even with myself as an artist, I sit back and study those guys. You know, if you listen to some of my earlier work, I was listening to Illmatic and it was written damn near every day. So a lot of those multi-syllable joints, same thing with like Cool G Rap, I was listening to 4 or 5 sits every day. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when you hear different records or things like that, you can hear those things. Those are my influences. And nothing's wrong with that. These are great artists. These are legends. You should learn from the legends. I'm just a person where I don't want it to be obvious. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be my creativity being shown as opposed to motherfuckers breaking my work down like, damn, he sound just like, or that record is just, nah, it's not. Now, if you say that I influenced by these people, absolutely. But it's not like it's no father to my style like A-Sign unique, man.
That's what's up. Well, tell the people where they can find you at, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at King Shampz, KINGSHAMPZ. That's on Twitter and Instagram. You can go on here to check the music out as well, man. We're on all streaming platforms. All streaming platforms. So don't make no bullshit. You know what I mean? Don't beat yourself, treat yourself to some excellent music. You know what I'm saying? We got Rise of Corleone out. We got Murder Files out. We got The Beginnings. That's out as well. And then, like I said, Murder Files is the joint project. And we got work out right now. The single game we've been killing all from last summer, and we're doing it this summer as well. So go check out Sophisticated Hustlers, all of the work, the catalog. You know what I mean? We put a catalog together for the people. So when you say, well, damn, I like the way that bull talk, like King Shampz, he talking a lot of heavy shit. Let me go check his music out. You will not be disappointed, man. You will not be disappointed at all, man. So please check me out, man. And check these brothers out too now. You know what I mean? They're doing a hell of a job for the culture. They don't have to be doing this shit. So make sure y'all subscribing and tuning in and commenting too. You know what I mean? Y'all want the whole West Philly to come out of me tonight, man. I'm trying to chill.
Okay. So that was my last question. What's the difference for between the West Philly cat, North Philly cat, South Philly cat? What's the difference?
The difference to me is I feel like we have more of a fashion sense on shit. I feel like we hustle differently. Like North Philly niggas will trunk you quicker than we will. You know what I'm saying? Like that's more of they shit. Our shit was more like hustling, robbing, you know what I mean, too. But it's like two different types of Grammies, if that makes sense. West Philly Grammy is more like a Harlem Grammy, if that makes sense. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like we like to dress, we like to go out with the girls, but like we'll still put you in the trunk too. North Philly is like, no, you know when you get on one of their blocks, or South Philly, that's the time they on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the time they on. To be honest, to keep it 100, being from West, a lot of my old heads that was like hustlers, they wouldn't even like drive down South Philly for real. They say like, yo, like I'm going to have a good time. I don't need to have like my 9 on me driving through these neighborhoods. Like I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like the difference. It's just like the different levels of Grammy. Anywhere in the city is out of pocket, to be honest. But like those are like the differences. You know what I mean? How we walk, maybe how we talk and shit.
No, I get it. I was raised in Decatur. Like we like the polos and logos of the zones. So
okay, yeah.
So like we slide, but we not like considered to be as grimy as like the dudes from the south side or the west side necessarily. Like the motion is different in terms of how we set you up. Like we might send one of our girls to dance to come get you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we. You know what I'm saying?
That's the wave.
The dude from the south side and the west side just gonna slide on you. Like we gonna send our best girl like to come get you. Like
because I wanna be able to get a better understanding of you and how you like to move and how we can move real in and out. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't rapping all my life. You know what I'm saying?
No. Like, neither was I. Say less. Statute of limitation is passed, but still, go ahead. Say less.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm good. No, I'm super good. Yeah, I'll never Vlad myself. Y'all will never catch me doing any of those things.
He said Vlad himself. That's
crazy. Yeah, I'll never Vlad myself. Like that's wild to me. But like the differences, like you said, like that right there is right on the head, like how we move with certain shit. So it can be a lot more of a clean thing. If this is what we decided to attack on, that's the angle we gonna be on. You know what I mean? Because a nigga can't keep his mind focused when a pretty woman around, and we all know that. So you know, it's a whole nother stream of emotion. Like you said, with North Philly, South Philly, like they just like super grimy, and we've argued back and forth. Like I hold me some each side. I tell them, I'm like, bro, like y'all just be on some dirty shit. Like it just is what it is. The niggas can be mad all they want, but like It just is what it is. Like y'all be on some dirty shit. You know what I mean? Y'all be on some shit like the bitches don't want to be around y'all. Y'all scaring them. Y'all wilding.
Yo, man, yo, we appreciate you coming on here, bro. And then, yo, we'll still be in touch, man. Yo,
For
check this
sure,
man
for
out, King
sure.
Shampz.
I appreciate y'all fellas, man. I appreciate y'all having me again. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at King Shampz. Go check out all of the projects. And like I said, make sure y'all like and subscribe these brothers as they putting in a lot of work, man. And I appreciate y'all having me on, man. For real.
No doubt, bro. Peace and love, man.
Peace.
All right, AG,
That was dope.
We need to get to some super chats right quick.
Let's do it. Yeah, Dub, man. Shout out to Double.
Yeah,
Sean's
Double Barrel.
fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got him.
You got it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, Double Barrel with the $2 super chat. Sean's fam is our fam. You guys, prayers from the chat. Love. CJ the Kid with the $5 super chat. Peace, guys. Please tell Sean keep his head up. Please. Bless.
Appreciate
awesome. Yeah, Mad Max. Coupon, apologize to you after seeing the female list first because I was tight on your whole show when you tried to put Kim over Kane. That I trolled you and I lied that Nikki greater than Kim because I don't know if Nikki in my top 20. You can't be consistent, Mad Max.
Hey, mark down this moment when Mad Max says he's apologizing to you, Coop.
Thank you. Look, it happened on April 5th, 2025.
Not April 1st, April 5th. Not April 1st.
10:04 p.m. CJ the Kid with another $5 super chat. Appreciate you, CJ. In your opinion, what is Will Smith's highest rated mic album and how many mics would you give it? Probably his first album, I'd probably give it 4. AG?
I would agree.
Our man with the $4.99 super chat. Peace. Great Stoop Stories episodes for I Am. AG, I think you are incorrect. Come Clean with J. Rue was Primo's first lead single outside of Gangstar. If you're talking about lead single, yes. If you're talking about song outside of the camp, no.
Yeah, well, I did correct myself. You know, appreciate the super chat. I did. If you go back in the video and look in the YouTube comments, I did correct myself because after the show, I thought about it. I thought about MCs act like they don't know, and I thought Come Clean with which both predate Nas is like. So I was like, yo, I was wrong on that. But you know what I'm saying? I corrected myself in the chat. But I got you all to, fact check me. So, I said if I'm not mistaken, in which I was mistaken. So appreciate it.
MCs act like they don't know, and rappers are in danger, and Come Clean.
Yeah, yep. So
yep, those would be but those are the only 3 though that I can think of off the top of my head.
Correct. Yeah, they predate 99. So
yeah, 88 Spence with the 9.99 super chat. The Fresh Prince was dope, rocking the party at Central, the Wine, and the Plat. People don't know how hip hop Philly was in the 80s and pushing the culture forward. It's true. I mean, a lot of people
Philly representative here, Spence.
Right. From Philly in the house tonight. Ill City, salute King Champ. Dope for real. Ill City, shout out to the Chi-Town. Y'all really need to holler at us. We were serious about that whole play with doing something up in the Chi. Yeah, I need to get with you and Rufus soon. Is that all for the super chats? Think we're all caught up, AG? Do you want to? I got a business for like 2 seconds, AG. You want to jump in right quick and like cover your start on the Drake leaks and tell people what you think while you give me 2 minutes?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, bet.
All right, so for more new music, a few Drake songs leaked onto the internet, in the past couple of days. One being named Cheerios. I think it's a dope record. It was supposed to be on For All the Dogs, to my understanding. For All the Dogs wasn't the best album. I like this song. I think this song could have really helped the album out a lot if it had been left on there, but for whatever reason, it was taken off. Another joint that leaked out is called Shopping Spree. That joint was just okay to me. I wasn't really feeling that one too much. But another one that leaked out is Waiting to Exhale with 21 Savage. This was supposed to be on Her Loss, and I like this record a lot as well. And although Her Loss was a dope record to start with, I think Waiting to Exhale would have fit nicely on there. But, it's interesting to see, like, over the past year, Drake's been leaking a lot of records. I don't know if he's been leaking them directly or if they've been leaking through other avenues. but they're not getting quite the traction that Drake stuff usually gets. But I think this little 2 out of the 3 joints was really dope. Coop, did you get a chance to hear them?
No. I listen to the music. The records are dope. I just don't know where we are in relationship to saying that a Drake record is dope right now.
Yeah.
Because and this is what I mean about in relationship to it. And this is where the Kendrick effect really has taken a hold of even Drake. Well, if it's not reversing any of this damage, how good is the record?
Right.
And so are the records dope? Yeah, they're dope. I mean, but it's not really changing anything at this point. And so there's still
Not moving the needle.
Correct. And so there is still that kind of lingering effect. It's like, okay, is it going to do numbers? Yeah, it's going to do numbers. It's Drake. It's going to do numbers. Okay. Like we understand that. Is it moving that needle that you're talking about? Well, no, it's not doing that. And then those questions are going to start to slowly creep in real soon. Is it over? Are his days of moving the needle over? Did Kendrick kind of put the nail in the coffin? AG, you and I have been having conversations, for a minute now. Like even before we were doing this show about the relevancy of his songs.
Right.
And how it really was the cachet of his name. I mean, if we are seeing that as astute hip hop listeners and podcasters, and we might be more astute and poignant than the average person that listens to hip hop music, but so is Kendrick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It's like, oh no, I mean, Kendrick might have seen, like, how about this? Like, people may not want to acknowledge some of the things that I poignantly said about Kendrick that are accurate, but, I'm going to say that he has pointed out some things about Drake that, the average person outside of us really wasn't pointing to, which means he was paying on the level that we were, because he's ahead and he's a fan on the level that we are, if not more so.
Yeah, so, Kendrick's a cerebral guy.
No, but this is what I mean. You don't have to be like okay. So there's a difference between being like for me, him being cerebral is only in the application of the battle. What I'm saying is inherently he's ahead, so he's watching, because that's what you do when you're ahead. You can't help but watch and be in tune and want to hear something and catch something and see what the vibe and the wave is looking like. It's part of like who we are. Like we can't help it.
Inherently,
we were fiends before we became a team. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Facts.
Right. So Kendrick is also that way as well, but also extremely cerebral. Also, competitively speaking, in his stratosphere, and also like asserted himself in this battle. And you know what I'm starting to think about? I'm starting to think about Pusha T on What Dreams Are Made Of when he said need a way out like Nas needed the ether. And then I start realizing how important ether is, because this is like, imagine if this happens to Nas and Nas doesn't respond with the ether, and he's not like the record and the hit making and the record breaking chart topping artist that Drake is. His career probably is over, because look at what's happening with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe, it would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Man, glad I don't got my OVO jacket now. Looking bad for you.
Speaking of being in a bad place, you want to slide to the music anniversaries with the other guy in the big three?
I really don't. I'm about to say this is perfect. Well, on March 5th of last year,
April 5th.
Yeah. I'm sorry, April 5th of last year, J. Cole, might delete later, and he should just like want to delete this whole month. It was a dope album, killed by like the worst and most inappropriate apology ever. It might have been, it is crazy. Like Kendrick may have won this by these two fools' missteps, not even by his own assertion. And the assertion is there because Not Like Us is like that. But I'm still thinking to myself a year later, why would you drop this album right now? And why would you apologize right after you drop this album right now at your own festival? AG, go ahead and go. This is
I couldn't have said that any better, man. Cole, with that whole apology, was like Houston in the last couple possessions of the NCAA championship game. Like,
couldn't get a shot off. Couldn't get a shot.
You know what I'm saying? So, we're a year removed from that. So that was my next question. We're 1 year anniversary of Might Delete Later. and we're 1 year anniversary from last Dreamville, where the infamous apology happened. And before we get into this year's Dreamville Festival, let me ask you, Coop, does time heal all wounds? After a year later, are we over the apology?
No, it's making me emotional, nigga. I need some water right now. I'm not over it. I thought I was over it. It's literally drying me up on the inside because it's like, why would he do this?
Hey, yo.
It's like having a bad flashback. I didn't realize how much I had suppressed this from my memory until this very moment in time right now. It's ridiculous.
But you want to know what's funny? I'm gonna go ahead and say it so we can move on to this year's Dreamville Festival, which is the last Dreamville Festival. That's how they marketed it.
Look here.
I'm gonna say,
look, when your label called Dreamville and you do what you did last year, trust me, last year was the last year. You can say whatever you want.
Right, and that's what I'm alluding to. He fumbled the bag this year because if you come on stage, you had two different opportunities. Kanye has been throwing shots at him, you know what I'm saying? And he got on stage and said pretty much God bless him, favorable stuff about Kanye. Like at some point, J. Cole, you're going to have to make an example out of somebody. You didn't want to do it to Kendrick, but you could have made an example out of Kanye and gave him some bars. So that's one fumble bag. The second fumble bag is what I mean by time heals all wounds. At this year's Dreamville Festival, everybody remembers what happened last year and the stain that was.
Somebody's talking the whole thing.
He could have really made some waves and went viral if he could have just got on stage and performed like 2 joints off the fall off. He's still gatekeeping this album. Like, why not? And I know sometimes it's hard to perform new records in front of crowds, but why not get them excited and perform 2 or 3 records off the fall off just to make up for the BS that you did last year?
Hey, you want to know what, AG? Cole and Drake deserve everything that they're getting. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Before last year, for the previous 5 years, if Kendrick was in pole position, these guys had done a masterful job about making up ground. And literally, in 1 year, they made both of them subsequently at separate times, made some of the poorest decisions and poorest moves that you could ever make at the peak of your rap career. And that's what I mean. It's like, did Kendrick assert himself? Did Kendrick do what he was supposed to do?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, he absolutely did. But in him doing that, you can see how those guys didn't even do what they were supposed to do. It's like, this is what just happened. This is like having your 3 best students, okay? Like, these guys literally are your 3 best students. They're always getting 97, 98, 99. All right? It's like the guy that was getting 97 the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And it looked like the guys were getting 98, 99s. It's like literally in 1 year, it's like those guys started getting 75s. It's like when this guy shows back up and gets a 97, that's when you want to start giving us a 75. It looks like you're going to be a nuclear physicist for the rest of your career. No, it looks like you are going to be a janitor at a McDonald's. That is what the drop-off has been. That is what it looks like. I don't even see the point in having this festival. I think it's in very poor taste. I'd rather talk about you and Sean on Stoop Stories for another anniversary.
Well, we can move on. We can move on.
Kiss my black ass, hey Chief. Damn about this anniversary. Did Sean put you up to this?
Not at all. I'm not even gonna blame that on Sean. I just wanted to know if we was over it or not. Evidently, we're not.
Traumatized. I told you niggas last year. I said I might need to talk to a therapist about this. This is ridiculous.
It hurt because Cole was my favorite out of the 3. I was putting all chips in, like betting on Cole.
Do you understand that the best MC in the game was like from North Carolina? It was like this close to happening, and it almost happened for the home team, AG. And then this nigga. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Okay, so on April 6, 1999, Nas released I Am, and you and Sean actually released your first Soup stories on YouTube, chronicling all the fodder, history, mystery, released tracks, unreleased tracks, bootlegging concerning the project. What is your synopsis of you and of you and Sean's Soup stories, AG?
Oh yeah, if you haven't got a chance to check it out, go ahead and check it out. That's actually our second. Our first one was on Supreme Clientele, but yeah,
My
I don't want to belabor the point, but I think this is one of the albums I can't think of another album with more lore surrounding it, whether good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I mean? I can't think of one album that just has so many things surrounding it. So that's why we wanted to do a show highlighting those things. But history played out how it was supposed to, but me and Sean covered alternate universe. If things would have went as intended, what does that look like? So I think it's definitely an interesting conversation around that album.
I'm going to be brief when I say this. I feel like that this album, although lyrically not what it was written was, song wise, was put together better than it was written. I feel like, yeah. I feel like
that's heavy praise, though.
I do. I feel like it's comparable to it was written in its quality, and I think because of that, the original version, I feel because of that, it would make it the greatest 3-album rap run in history. Actually, had it actually came out.
Yeah.
And Illmatic, it was written in the original version of I Am. It would be the greatest 3-album rap run, not like period. Like. Yeah. Doesn't matter, rapper, soloist, duo, group, as far as 3 consecutive albums, because I do think that would exceed, the Pac run, the Rakim run, in terms of the quality of the third project. Because I do think that the original version of I Am is better than Machiavelli and Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, or Follow the Leader, depending on how you feel,
That's a fair assessment.
So I think that is what we lost in losing that. I think you and Sean did an appropriate and proper job of kind of like commemorating that ethos in addition to your own personal synopsis. I enjoyed the episode.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Y'all check that out.
Yeah, definitely need to check it out. Definitely worth a dig. Pieces of a Man from AZ, April 7th. I don't know why I keep saying March. Why is March on my mind? April 7th, 1998.
Where do you rank this one, Coop, for AZ's catalog? I personally have it 3rd.
I've thought about this. What do you think of 9 Lives? Do you count 9 Lives?
Yes.
I went and listened to 9 Lives today, and there was part of me that thought 9 Lives might be better than this, AG.
I don't think so, but I do have Asiatic over this.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. I think I got Do or Die at 1.
Right.
I personally like Asiatic more than Do or Die 2, but I do think Do or Die 2 is better than Asiatic. Because I think AZ has always suffered from trying to cross over a little too hard, and it's been a mixed bag of results.
I think Asiatic is his best production. Because that was the Soul Sample album.
It was. I love I'm Back. I'm Back is my joint.
Mm-hmm.
And the Essence.
The Essence, yeah.
Fan Mail.
Mm-hmm.
Fan Mail is one of my favorite A joints.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I might put Asiatic over Do or Die too. You might be right, AG. I think you just convinced me. So I can go with you, but I think Do or Die 2 is better than Pieces of a Man, though. I think Pieces of a Man, production-wise, doesn't do much. I think AZ is very, very much stellar on there at times. He does, like when he stays in his pocket in his zone, like when he does stuff like I'm Known and Sosa, I feel like those are pockets. Sosa's a top 10 AZ joint for me personally.
Sosa's crazy. Yeah.
Sosa's my favorite joint on there. But I do think that it's like, it's a little bit underrated, but it's mostly because that it's underrated. The production should have been much better. I would probably put it at 4th.
Yeah.
It's between that and 9 Lives for 4th or 5th. But also when I say this, that makes A's catalog pretty strong. When you start talking about your top five is Do or Die, Asiatic, Pieces of a
Bro,
Man.
you didn't even mention AWOL. I think AWOL is pretty strong.
AWOL probably has what is arguably my favorite A record, which is the Come Up. I love the Come Up with Preem and AZ. Like, how about this? The way cats feel about Royce and Preem on Boom, I feel the same way about Preem and A on the Come Up. Like, it's Boom
It's
level.
up there.
Yeah,
It's up
it's Boom
there.
level.
And I
Yeah.
tweeted, Sean tweeted out the anniversary of Pieces of a Man. How You Living is my favorite Nas and AZ collab record. I'll put that over. Like, it doesn't have the impact that the others have, but I just love that record, man. Like, as
How
soon
about
as it come
I told
on,
you?
I get the vibe.
How about this? Everybody has their. I realize everybody has their vibe. Even with the Nas and AZ thing, it's like it's so surprising. I think we all know "Life Is a Bitch" is the best record. But
Mm-hmm.
we all got our favorite record minus Phone Tap. Yours is How You Living. It's perfectly okay, AG. It's perfectly healthy.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And I do like Whatever Happened with RZA as well, but it's a solid album. Third or fourth, maybe.
I wasn't that big on it. Yeah, it's in his top five.
Yeah.
But great career by A. But the fact that we just bought up 6 AZ albums off the top of our head.
Facts.
Yeah. So up next, Still Standing My Goodie Mob, which by the way came out on the same day, the same year. It's one of those underrated
Yep.
days in hip hop. I was thinking about this when I realized these albums came out on the same day. I said, this is what I mean when I tell these young whippersnappers that there used to be a time where you could go to the record store and there would be all types of hip hop available to you depending on what your preference was. It's like, oh no, if you was an East Coast guy, chances were an East Coast guy dropped that you probably liked. If there was a Southern artist or an act that you like, chances are they probably dropped. And this is just kind of
Yep.
like the embodiment of that. I think Still Standing's a great album. It
Yep.
is not soul food, but soul food, in my opinion, is one of the 5 best rap albums to ever even come out of the South. So it's hard to top those types of things. I think it's an excellent job of a follow up, to be honest with you, and in a lot of ways, more popular and made them a bigger name than its predecessor.
I got one question for you from my analysis of this album because I think very highly of this record for Sky High, right? Black Ice Sky High.
Black Ice, yeah. What about it?
How high does that record rank out of singles that come out of ATL? Because I'm thinking it's pretty high.
Singles?
Yes. I'm thinking it might be top 10, bro. But you're the ATL guy, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Saying it's top 10 for ATL is very, very strong. Because the first thing I thought
Believe
is like, well, you got T.I. with What You Know, you got Future with March Madness. I'm trying to think. How about this, AG? That's one of those records we love. We love that record, but there are so many records down here from them that are bigger, in our
Okay.
opinion.
That's why I'm asking you because you're the native.
It would probably. I'll tell you this: it would crack the top 25.
Okay.
It would crack the top 25. I don't think it would crack the top 10 though. There's been too much that has gone down. This is what I mean. Like you can't put. This seems crazy to say. You really can't put Black Ice over Get Love from the Yin Yang Twins. You feel me?
I don't agree, but I see what you're saying for the area. Yeah,
yeah. Like in Atlanta, it's like, well, no, because here's the
I'm
thing
thinking
about
more of a quality perspective. You're thinking about impact in the city. I'm thinking about one of the best songs. Yeah.
Oh, if you're talking quality, if you're talking about one of the 10 best rap records to come out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh yeah, it's arguably that. Yeah, arguably that.
Okay.
I would tell you still top 20 because what I will tell you is that here's the problem with Black Ice. Thought Process and Get Up, Get Out are better. And so are the standout performances in terms of the bar seminars on the record, even within the relationship of the first couple of records that they all kind of are on together. It's better than some of them, but it's still not at the top of the list. Like CeeLo on Get Up, Get Out is more memorable than anybody is on Black Ice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And the production on Thought Process.
and Andre and CeeLo on Thought Press are more memorable than anybody is on Black Ice. So even though Black Ice is great, and you got to think about Dirty South on Soul Food with Big Boy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, oh no, record is great, but it's like it might even fall. That's what I'm saying. It might be close to top 20, top 25, because it might fall fourth, fifth, or sixth just within the camp.
Once you start pulling Outcast records and stuff, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But that's dope. That's a great question though, AG, and it's a valid one. Andre's verse on there is pretty special.
It is.
Yeah, it's one of his 10 best verses. How about that?
Oh yeah, for sure. He went crazy.
Yeah. All right. What are your thoughts on Still Standing though, AG? Like, what do you think of the album? Like,
I agree wholeheartedly with everything you said. I think it's a great follow-up. It's not the classic that Soul Food is, but it's definitely a great follow-up. You know what I mean? There's some great records on there. So no sophomore slump. No sophomore slump at all there.
no sophomore slump, but the third album. Oh my God. Anyway, on to the next thing. So on an album that shouldn't have quite frankly made this music anniversary list at all. The Last Kiss by Jadakiss, which came out. I think
Sean put that there for me because I'm a Jada guy. You know,
I was actually thinking. Okay, so my thought was that did AG put Sean up to this, or does Sean just love AG so much that he knew AG would want to talk about this? But either way, I deem this behavior to be unacceptable because
Sean was looking out, man.
I appreciate Sean for looking out. This album's just not that good, AG. But I'm gonna let you talk.
No, it's not. It's not. It's like if we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be Jada's fourth best album, if anything. But the two standout records,
That's very problematic.
Right, man. But I mean, another major crossover commercial attempt. But I do love the record Letter to Big. I love that record. And to Have Faith on there. And What If with Nas. I do love that record and that concept. But it's really not a whole lot to pull from this album. Not a whole lot to pull. I got to be honest as a Jadakiss fan. I would rank this fourth behind Kiss the Game Goodbye, Kiss of Death, and Ignatius. I would rank this fourth.
Now, we're not certain if he has a rap classic, but we're talking about his fourth best album.
Right.
Okay. We're going to have to edit Sean on the list from now on. All right. Sean, you're getting edited when you come back.
I take the blame, man. It's probably there because I'm the Jada guy. So
yeah, we're going to blame you. We're going to blame Sean. We're going to blame everybody. I'd like to apologize to the people that you had to spend the last talking about this project that had no business making our list today. I love Jadakiss. This album was not good, and that is all I have to say. On to news. So, Billboard and their attempts, I guess, to keep pace with other lists being made about females in the hip-hop space have released their top 25 best female rappers of all time. Now, AG, I am not a glowing fan of this list, and I'll tell you why. I was immediately able to name 8 MCs who deserve consideration for this list at a bare minimum that didn't even make this list.
Who was number one on it? Because I got one glaring omission that's like nasty. Is it Che?
And when I thought about it, no, Che should be on here. Che's not the glaring omission to me. I can understand leaving some of the newer people off.
It's half of this list is newer people.
Well, that would be some of the problem. They picked the wrong newer people, and some of the older people didn't get their due. I'll tell you, the glaring omission is actually Yo-Yo not making this list, AG.
That's a good pull. Yeah, you're right.
The glaring omission to me was Yo-Yo, Mia X.
Mia X is not on here. Yep.
Rod Digger.
Rod needs to be towards the top.
Top half.
Mm-hmm.
Jean Grey.
Right.
Bahamadia.
A lot. Yeah. You up to 5.
Shauna.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lady Luck.
I'm glad you're bringing these names, Coop, because this is coming off of a week ago when we talked about the best female feature verses. That list was really spot on. It was right. You could disagree with the order, but the joints they pulled was spot on.
You want to know what I realized when I was making the list about the MCs?
Mm-hmm.
to do the guest verse list is so easy because the the space for black women in hip hop has been so marginalized that they really only had about 10 to 15 female MCs to pull from for all those verses, so it wasn't hard to parse it out. And most of those verses, think about it. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I mean, about 8 of those verses belong to Fox and Kim. It wasn't hard.
Right. That's true. But I'm gonna still give them credit where credit's due. So
No, I'm giving
I
every
like
credit.
that you.
I'm just saying the degree of difficulty is that this is different because now you're actually talking about the actual MCs. Oh, I'm not finished yet, AG. We got Heather B. We got Che. That's 10. That's
Yeah,
10
easily
MCs on a
10.
list of 25. Like I just gave you 10. I just gave you 10. Oh, and that's not bringing up Boss from Detroit. Remember
I don't
Boss?
know. I don't know if yeah, I remember. But I don't know if she makes it. But
I'm
once you
just
named all the other 10 that you named, I don't know if she gets on because that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think with all these new names on the list, like the Lottos, the Glorillas, you know what I'm saying, the Cardi B, Megan, you know what I'm saying, Doja Cat, even so. And a lot of these are ranked up high. Do you think it's because of a shortage of notable female MCs that they had to pull all these fairly new names, or they just overlooked everybody that you just named effortlessly off the top of your head?
I mean the yo-yo thing was just like, okay, like I don't know how you all miss yo-yo. Open hand slap.
Don't
Okay.
play with my
Open.
yo-yo.
Yeah, yo-yo's the most glaring omission to me. Yo-yo and Rod Digger not being on here was
For
just
me, it
kind
would
of,
be Rod Digger.
yeah. I think yo-yo is bigger and more important, even though Rod Digger's the better MC. If we talk about the craft of MC and Rod Digger's probably better, yo-yo's more important. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yo-yo's down with Ice Cube on Bonnie and Clyde on her first album. She
Rapping
does
next
have
to
a
Crime
She
Cube.
has a bigger single. She's been in. Think about it. She's in Boys in the Hood. She's on Martin. She's on the I Wanna Be Down remix. She's been a TV personality. She's been a radio personality.
Nah,
Like
you right.
it's Yo-Yo. Like Yo-Yo not being on this list, thinking that there are 25 female MCs that deserve to be ahead of Yo-Yo is pretty egregious to me. And so that's what comes to my mind. But and then just like on some rap shit, then I go to Digga, Bahamadia, and then Mia X as far as Southern representation. And I would tell you this, and this is just like some harsh truth that some people are gonna have to deal with. And this is what I mean. Well, I understand who Cardi B is. So Cardi got one album, just like Bahamadia got one album. Do you know who Bahamadia is, like in her world? Because like she's Cardi in her world, like in terms of how female MCs look at her. It's like, oh no, that's that motherfucker. Oh, the way she rhyme and put the words together and is so slick and eloquent. Like you know. And so we just kind of got to be fair. I think Rhapsody could have been higher. I do like the fact that Trina made the list. I love the fact that they put Left Eye on this list.
Right. I don't like how they put Salt and Pepper as one. Like, you know what I mean? They took up one slot and gave it. So that's a group.
I didn't love that, but when I thought about it, can't leave them out of the top 10.
Yeah. What do you think about number one? That's the burning question. What do you think about number one?
I don't. I would reorder it. I would tell you this. You can't put. It's not fair to Latifah, Light, Missy, and Nikki and Kim to put Lauren ahead of them. If you want to put Lauren ahead of everybody else, I'm okay with it. You can't put her ahead of those people. The same reasons that I realized today that are valid about me putting Lil Kim at number one ahead of Lauren, ahead of Light, ahead of Latifah, and ahead of Missy. I did realize today that those same rules applied to Nikki. And so, although personally the list would probably look different objectively, I would have it restructured Kim, Nikki, Missy, Light, Latifah, Lauren, Foxy, Salt and Pepper, Roxanne Shante, and the Brat. That would be my 10.
And putting Lauren that low is more predicated on output than actually skill set, correct?
It's not fair to the
It's
other.
the Andre 3000 argument, right?
I'm giving her more credit than Andre because you have more rap stuff than Andre, done more guest verses, have put more rap product out on an album per se in terms of actually doing rap songs. But it's not fair to the other women that have made the solo rap contributions that they have that you don't have a rap solo album, and we putting you ahead of Light and Latifah, who like think about this. Light just made an album like the other year. Ag.
Mm-hmm.
She been making rap albums since we was 5 years old, dude.
Right.
I'm not joking. Think about this. MC Light
And
been
that
making
was a
rap
good
albums.
album. That was a good album. If
That's
you heard
it
that,
was
I
a good
like that
album.
album.
Was a good album. That's what I'm saying. But MC Light has been making rap albums since we were like 5, 6 years old. And she's been making rap albums for almost 40 years. Lauryn Hill hasn't given us one full rap album yet. No, we can't put Lauryn Hill ahead of MC Light when Lauryn Hill hasn't given us one full rap album, and MC Light been making rap albums since we were literally in first grade.
Fair is fair.
Shit
Fair
don't
is
make
fair.
no sense. Yeah, that shit don't make no sense. It don't. It's not right. It's not
I'm
right.
with you.
That's like saying, how about this? Like AG, like I'm as big as a Grant Hill fan as there ever was. But that's like me running around and saying, well, Grant Hill better than LeBron and Kobe and da. It's like, oh no, for
Right.
about 5, 6 years he was.
Yeah. Yeah. You just can't do it. Like,
I don't got enough to go off of to say that.
no.
What I seen? Oh no, what I seen is just as good as, but what I seen ain't enough.
Right.
Yeah. So,
No, with
but
you.
but I would redo the list mostly because of those things, just because there's so many people that could be included.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
the ones you named, the only one who I would object, like, and it's no disrespect, but once you named Boss, like that was the only one, I could find replacements for a lot on this list for everybody you named that's not on this list, but I think Boss would be the one that wouldn't make the cut.
But I gave you 10 names though, so that means that that means
easily 10 names.
I gave you 10 names, so that means that means you could put 9 people in this 25 that they made. That means their 25 ain't that good.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But it's Billboard, but we just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, I went Andre Miller. I took into Brad over Yo-Yo too, but Yo-Yo's on the list is what I'm saying. Yo-Yo's at least like Yo-Yo on my list. I have Yo-Yo at 17 on my list. And I think that's fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So now let's go to this Mass Appeal snippet, the Legend Has It snippet that's been kind of floating around the last couple of days. Some cryptic messages, 7 albums from 7 legendary groups. So I think in the video, AG, if I'm not mistaken, is that Goodie Mob I'm seeing?
No, and I don't know that for a fact. I don't know for a fact that they're all albums. It might be other projects like documentaries and stuff. Yeah, so it might be something like that. But are people that are, savvy on the internet and crack codes, towards the end of the video, it was some dates, and all the dates corresponded with a legendary act's, one of their classic album debut, to let us kind of let us have a clue on the artists that are involved. And those artists were, Nas, of course, with the Nas and Premier album, Ghostface, Raekwon, Mobb Deep, Big L, and De La Soul. So whatever they announce coming forward, if it's 5 of them are albums and 2 of them are documentaries or what have you, if this is what the 3rd and 4th quarter is going to consist of, I saw somebody, I wish I, knew the person's name to quote it. They said this is the old heads Disneyland. That's what they said.
In 3rd and 4th quarter, they're doing snippets for something they're not going to drop for another 2-3 months. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, well, maybe second, 3rd, and 4th quarter, because I'm guessing this is going to span the rest of the year. So, let's just say they drop one thing a month.
Stop playing with me and give me my music.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the release dates are. If I was a bet man, I would say the Nas and Premier album would be the grand finale. I don't know. Here's the thing. I would
history has taught me that these rollouts, the way that they happen, word to Kanye, it's better to go first than last.
Yeah, the Kanye EP album rollout and stuff, like Pusha T with Daytona. My thing is this. I would rather the Nas and Premier album jump it off than to be the grand finale, because if everybody doesn't, that is making an album, that is, everybody else that's making an album, if they don't meet their deadlines, does that mean the Nas and Premier album would get pushed back? I don't want anything else holding up that album process. That's my thing. So I would rather them just go first and jump it off.
I ain't heard no records from none of these projects, AG. I don't believe these guys.
We gonna see. We gonna see what happens. They ain't doing the promo for nothing. This is the slow old school rollout because it's old school acts.
Man,
Coop just reserving his excitement.
These Negroes out here singing "Wade in the Water" when they supposed to be singing "Open My Heart" by Yolanda Adams. These niggas are so behind. It's ridiculous. I'm so sick of this shit. We got anything else to talk about?
Nah. We don't know enough yet. It's
no, we don't know. We don't know enough, AG, and that's what I'm saying. I get to say when I handle like in like the old school like traditional format and like not give us anything, but it's like, I mean, can a brother get a, like, I'm not joking, can a brother get a beat with you rapping over it for 15 seconds? like
a little snippet.
Like something legitimate to look forward to. Like, cause here's my thing. Nigga, I do not give a shit about your vision board on your favorite producer's birthday. Like, I'm not that guy. I don't give a shit about that board. So I saw that board. It's like, I don't give a fuck about your board, nigga. Like
man, that was just a flex. That was just a flex, yo. I'm recording in the Bahamas right now.
Look here, man. I know how our board of life be going. I took my daughter's car shop to the day with my car. I parked my car on the side. I had plans to get shit done to my car. By the time they got done looking at my daughter's car, I looked at the mechanic. I was like, don't look like I be getting anything done to my car today. That's how the mission board be working and shit. That's why I'm not trying to hear that shit. Give me no fucking board on somebody's birthday. Spoon feed me some bullshit. Where the beats at, nigga? like what are we doing?
Yo, that's wild.
So
put a beat in the backdrop with the calendar is what you're saying.
Yeah. AB.
Yeah.
Man, I'm Michael Jordan in the elevator telling me, hey, let's play our A game tonight. Like, bring A game. It's like, no, nigga, don't give me a board. Give me a beat. Like, any beat. Like, a beat. You couldn't put a beat behind the backdrop with it. That's what we're doing out here.
Niggas be on the internet taking the 15-second beat and looping it up.
Reading the goddamn board in silence. I got to put on my glasses and zoom in on it. It's ridiculous.
You said, where's the album?
Speaking of albums, some whack ass publication has done the top 50 rap albums of the decade.
Whoa, who's throwing shots? Yeah, that's crazy.
No, hot new hip hop list. How hot is this list?
Nah, but I will give them credit. They said in their opening statement they are open to all criticism because they're sure that people won't agree with it. So I give them credit that they already know that the list is disagreeable. But for the rubric,
I don't believe in people who are like, "Hey, look, I'm right here. You can shoot at me with your gun if you want to." No, I don't like people like that. No, I don't.
But what's interesting is their rubric. They said that this list was based off of impact, ethos, and the reception by the public.
Impact, ethos, reception?
Yes.
Okay. I'm fascinated. Impact, ethos, reception?
Yep.
Fascinating. Some of the dumbest shit I've heard, but keep going.
So, I mean, I could go through a lot of the list, but I have my gripes with the list. But they might be biased gripes, but
I don't. Please, no, AJ. I'd like if you like highlight some of the things on the list. Like, tell me, AJ, what's number one on the list?
Number one on the list is Playboy Cardi, A Whole Lot of Red. The best 50 album. We're talking about the best 50 albums of the 2020s decade. And number two is Coop's favorite album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
I'm out. Where we out? It's where we out. It's where we're gonna have to be out on these motherfuckers.
Yo, go check them out over at Hot New Hip Hop. But you know what I will say, Coop, and this is
how
old
are they? 11? Are they 11 and 13?
I have no idea. But what I will
It's
say,
past their curfew. They can't be watching this show right now.
what I will say is Nas King's Disease 3, you know how high we hold that album. That made number 20 of the 2020s. And I ask you this, like without even knowing the whole list, is it biased to, I'm just talking about your personal, like, what would you think would be the top 50 albums since 2020 came around? Would it be too biased to think that all 6 albums from the Hit Boy run belong in that list? And if not 6, maybe all with the exception of Magic 2?
Definitely 4, probably 5.
That's what I was thinking. But KD3 is the only one that made this list.
Definitely 4.
Yeah, KD3 is the only one that made it.
I would have thought if this is the type of publication where it's like young men who are auditing it, I would think that King's Disease 1 would have made it too, because that's actually the one. KD 1 and 2 is actually more like
they had a lot of notoriety.
Huh?
They had a lot of notoriety. KD1, yeah.
Well, they both had records on there that fit both sides of the coin of his fan base. Like for the younger fan base, more palatable. So I would think that the all of the King's Disease would make it. I think Magic would make it off of its inherent hip hop nature. I do think that those 4 would be shoe-ins for a top 50 list. But then when you but think about what they said: impact, ethos. But here's the important part: reception.
Yeah, reception, because people act like the Nas albums didn't happen.
Correct. So that affects some of this in that regard. What are some other fascinating things that they didn't make in this list?
This is probably the thing that I was most fascinated about. The one thing that will make you is like, you know how when somebody says I got good news and I got bad news. I'm gonna deliver the good news first. Freddie Gibbs' Alfredo is number 4 on this list.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Okay. Here's the bad news.
That might be right.
Soul Separately is nowhere to be found in this 50.
Okay, they don't know what they're doing. It's time to send them home.
That was the most fascinating thing to me.
How can you have Alfredo at 4 and have Soul Separately not even on the list? It's a gap. It's not that big a gap.
No.
It's like 4. It's like if you think Alfredo is the 4th best album of the 2020s, then that means you think Soul Separately at worst is like 16, 17, like at worst.
Yeah. Well, while you're in that range of 16, 17, one of your favorite albums of the 2020s, Pray for Paris, is number 18. Okay. I think it needs to be closer to the top of the list.
I listened to Pray for Paris for the first time in a long time, about a week ago. It's still beautiful.
Yep. Yeah. Another one of your favorite albums, Black Thought and Danger Mouse, Cheat Code, at number 22.
Cheat Codes is up there. It is.
Shortly followed by G and X at 24.
That's not right, but okay.
I was trying to get you triggered. You didn't fall for it.
Okay. I mean, it's just not okay at this point.
Killer Mike Michael. Where do you think that's at? Just wild guess.
35.
29. Because a lot of people raved about that album. But Kanye's Donda, where you think that falls at?
Okay. Should be falling off a cliff and not on this list.
It's at number 38.
Okay. It's close enough to the cliff of being off this list, but
let's go with some recency. Future and Metro, We Don't Trust You. Where do you think that falls?
Number 7.
43.
Oh, fascinating.
And one of my favorite albums of the 2020s, I know you are not as high on this album, but I love it, is Benny's Burden of Proof is at 39.
Okay. Has no business on this list at all. It's ridiculous.
Pusha T, Almost Dry.
15.
34.
A little disappointed.
We were all a fan of Blue Lips by Schoolboy. Where do you think it landed at?
I put it in the 40s.
Number 8.
Blue Lips is number 8?
Yep.
They got a funky way of looking at things, but I can see some of the rationale.
A couple more. You know, Tyler is becoming one of the media darlings. Where do you think that Tyler Call Me If You Get Lost, which was a really good album, where do you think that fell?
For me, in this era, I would probably have that album right at the end of my back 20. So I'd probably have it at like 19, which means they probably have it at like 5.
You're the winner, right at number 5. You
Right.
guess that's spot on. See, you get an algorithm in your head, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing I'm how they moving.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this next album, but I don't think it should be like.
Hold on, and Call Me If You Get Lost does deserve a lot of praise. I don't know if it deserves like number 5 of out of 50 albums the last 5 years. No.
Yeah, it's a good album, but I don't think it's that good.
Top 20.
The JID Forever Story.
I like that it made a list because it deserved to make the list. So I'd tell you it's 27.
3.
It's way too high.
It's a great album, but it's not that great.
I gave it a 4.5, but it doesn't deserve to be 3. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hold on. So
okay, we were really high on Doechie's out. Oh, go ahead.
So what's number 2? If that's number 3,
your favorite album, Mr. Morale.
Mr. Morale's number 2. Playboy Cardi's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then JID's number 3.
Yep.
How can they go from like, okay, they picked 2 terrible albums for 1 and 2, and then they went to a really good album, and then went to a really great album.
Now Tyler's on here twice. Chromacopia is number 26.
Chromacopia is not good enough to be on here, but if it is, it'd be like literally one of the last 5 albums to make it.
So Doechii has made waves. She's had the impact. We were high on her album. You and Andrew did a dope show on Doechii. Where do you think Alligator Bites Never Heal landed?
10.
28.
I like that it made the list, though.
Yeah. J. Cole, The Off Season. Where would you think that landed?
Off this list.
Number 41. Okay, a couple notable ones, then we'll slide up out of here. Drake and 21 Savage, Her Loss. Where do you think?
Shouldn't be on this list either, but it's probably at 22.
It almost didn't make it, 47.
Okay, they got some sense.
Travis Scott, Utopia.
They made the list.
It did.
39.
Barely 49.
Good. It's terrible.
Oh, no, I got one for you. Got one for you. In the early 2020s, and you wrote an article on this piece, a written testimony.
Oh, actually, I do think that deserves to be on this list. And I will tell you that it's at 40.
Damn, Coop, you're good. You got it. 40 on the money. You got 2 right on the money. You got JLX right on the money, and you got Call Me If You Get Lost right on the money. But yeah, go over to Hot New Hip Hop, check out that list. You know, salute to them. You know, I don't know why Coop called y'all, but even if you don't disagree with this week.
I'm sorry for calling y'all whack. I don't know who y'all are. I invite you.
You was just saying shit.
Okay. I told everybody the gloves is coming off in 2025. Nobody's safe. I meant that shit. Hot New Hip Hop. I'm going to come up with my list, and I'm going to challenge you to a duel of the Iron Mike. You're going to take this duel.
Two fatal strikes.
Whoever loses is going to have to get open hand slapped in front of their YouTube audience. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of hip hop platforms, before we get up out of here, it's just one thing I want to speak to real quick. Tomorrow, April 11th, will be our 1-year anniversary that we have been on YouTube as far as the Hip Hop Talks brand and platform. So I just want to thank everybody out there, everybody in the chat, everybody in our Discord for coming on this ride with us, you know, for supporting us. We appreciate you, all the team out there. You know who you are, you know, F, LB, Iran, Jack, like, you know what I'm saying, everybody, you know what I'm saying, salute to y'all. You would think, you know, we got over 2,000 subs. for a year. And I'm grateful, and I think we're blessed because I don't think a lot of independent, grassroots pods get over 2,000 subs in 1 year real organically like that. Coop, you was in the space early on, and we had this conversation behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you came into it in 2020, and what I told you was a lot of pods had their comeuppance, and they blew up during that time frame during the COVID year because everybody, frankly, was at home with nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting around, watching and subscribing to YouTube videos. But, I will say something that I'm proud of in this space. We come along, and frankly, in a rap hip hop podcast space that's all but dried up and it's oversaturated. And I feel like we've made a mark in a short amount of time with our 2,000 subs in just a year's time. So I appreciate everybody. And if you're somebody who believes that we should be growing beyond that we should be bigger than what we are, then you need to take foot to pavement and like, share, and subscribe with people. Tell a friend to sift through everything else to come pull up on us. But I just wanted to say, being a part of the Hip Hop Talks team, I'm grateful. And, we'll talk more about this. We can wax poetic when Sean is on here, because I don't want to delve in too much without him here. But, I just want to say, I appreciate everybody that's been on this ride with us for a year. You know what I'm saying?
Super humbled and super grateful. It seems crazy. I have I've been through a lot personally behind the scenes in this space, the 5 years that I've been doing this. This place has been a safe haven for me. And I think that one of the things that a lot of shit that happened was supposed to happen a long time ago. It was just a safe haven for me because I didn't have another safe place to land to do what I'm passionate about and what I love to do. And so what Hip Hop Talks, what you all offered me was a safe landing space. So I really was comfortable with leaving my situation because I had somewhere safe to land and continue to do what it is that I love to do. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm humbled by that. This past year has probably been one of the more bigger life-changing years for me. I'm thankful that the changes that have happened for me behind the scenes have occurred with you and Sean and Andrew and Taj behind me, because I've had people behind me this whole time. And I can honestly say that I'm better and more focused and more diligent and better at this because of that. And so really thankful and humbled to be here. I actually am one of those people that would like to run the numbers up more, but that's just because I'm a hustler like that. I like to put numbers on the board. But I'm happy with what we've done and what we've contributed to the space. When people really hit me up and talk about what we've done and what we are doing for the culture, that still does mean something to me, even after 5 years of doing it. What you and Sean have going on with Stoop Stories is great. What Andrew and I have going on with Mirror Music is great. I'm about to ask for a very, very big favor to get Unwrapped with Coop start off claiming and praying that it will be great, and feel happy to be in this space. So, shout out to us for a year. Shout out to how it all came together. And peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. So
thank you. Wax poetic, man. And shout out, to Sean once again. Our prayers are with you. Thoughts are with you and your family. And, when he joins us again, we'll wax poetic more about our anniversary and how, everything kind of came together, how we became the dream team. So, but we probably got to slide up out of here because the homie Andrew, you know what I'm saying? You got to, got to hit the bed, got to teach the youth in the morning. So we appreciate y'all for pulling up. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're not subscribed yet and they the realest in the space, tell them to come holler at us. We'll see y'all again next week.
If
Peace
you
and
got
love, y'all.
you better tell them I kick rhymes from the cerebellum.
Peace, y'all.